Hello everybody, it's Dante. I'm here in this beautiful lotus pond at Haralaya in Cambodia. It's my last day, second to last day in Southeast Asia. So I wanted to make the travel vlog. You can hear behind me the wonderful water flowing in. Um, this is like the only chance I have to do this video, so we're just going to enjoy the sound of the peaceful water. And if you want to follow along. So yeah, I actually made a video about my Thailand month, and then I accidentally deleted it when I first got here. Oops. So this is technically the video on both Thailand and Cambodia, because that video disappeared. So now I have to backtrack quite a while. I started the year off in Thailand. I got here there a couple days before New Year in Bangkok. I was really recovering from an amazing experience of E. coli in India that tapered out a couple days after being into Bangkok. It was pretty much better by that point, but I was still just so exhausted. So I was really recovering when I first got there, and Bangkok is maybe not the best place to recover. It was very intense energy, but compared to India, even a giant city like that was still somehow chill for me. And I was a little bit disappointed by the food at first. Found a struggle to find the really good food in Bangkok. Being in the tourist areas, you don't get the authentic thing, and I didn't have the energy to really venture out much beyond some of the most commonly visited temples, which were very beautiful. There I did meet this Indian man, this Sikh psychic, who who kind of called me over and drawed my attention, and then he was, after saying a couple things to me, I was like, I don't know if I need a reading from this guy. He asked me the name of my mother, my first partner, the month and year that I was born, and some other details, my occupation, and he successfully wrote all of them down correctly with just one letter off. And this guy was quite something. And I could tell that there were some things there that were very accurate, and there were some things that were coming from his dogma and his own beliefs that he was pushing upon me. And I'm still trying to figure out what exactly that was. What comes from the authentic read, and what is his own belief systems coming through. In a slight detail that I've just considered with time, but basically that got me to really change some of my habits, and I was detoxing, and even to the point of not even drinking tea after a couple of weeks in Thailand, when this caffeine withdrawal was quite a thing for me. Well, in India, I just got really into the habit of chai all the time. There's always delicious masala chai everywhere you go, and feels very nice, and it has all these spices too that are kind of anti-inflammatory and bringing this sort of grounding effect. But then the tea in Thailand wasn't so nice, and I was just, all of the travel and everything, I was having a lot of need to calm myself down. So after that couple of days in Bangkok, I ended up in Chiang Mai, where I stayed with a friend, and he was actually living in a bungalow that his mother built at a Thai lady's house who she's friends with, and she's a massage teacher. So we explored Chiang Mai a little bit, and I was taking a massage course with her and learning to do a traditional Thai massage. And it is similar in approach to shiatsu, which I learned like 9 years ago. I can't believe how much time flies. And it still was kind of a deepening into learning how to work with the body, and learning how the energy flows in the body, which I'm very familiar with from yoga and doing some massage before. But it did give me some good techniques that maybe I can try out and practice. Chiang Mai was interesting, a little bit crowded. It was not the most riveting time in Thailand, but I really enjoyed the city. Because there's a lot to do there, and I met some nice people and had some cool moments. Much better food in Chiang Mai than Bangkok, at least from what I could find. And there's just a lot of beautiful temples and things to see there. So I went to Pai, where I really kicked into gear and was working all the time and enjoying a place out in nature in the mountains where I had good connection. It wasn't too hot. They provided a lot of meals for me at a really good rate, and I just kind of dialed myself into all of the things that I've been wanting to do in terms of work and more sessions and blah blah blah. That was not really possible while I was in India, because I was just so moving so fast and seeing so many things, and it was like just meeting people who would send me on different missions and side quests endlessly. So anyway, that was really good and restorative, and I was getting then I went from learning massage to getting massage almost every day, and some of them were some of the most painful massages I've ever had, and I was literally crying while they were laughing at me, and sometimes one lady would stand on my body and do it in a really traditional way, and that was super amazing. I could really just feel myself dropping and releasing a lot of stress and tension while I was then dialing in my yoga more, like everyday practice, really finding the rhythm, really finding myself in a much clearer state. And there's some community things happening in Pi that I tapped into just a little bit, but I wasn't even in that frequency. It was like after so many people, I was really tuned into moving inward in myself. I got a Sankhyatin Buddhist traditional tattoo right before I left Thailand of Rahu, which is the symbol for protection from bad energies and good fortune. And it was an interesting experience bringing the offerings to the monk and having a tattoo in a much different setting. So I'm glad that I got to take some of the energy from this place permanently with me. It's on my back, and I don't even know it's there a lot of the time because I don't see it ever unless I'm specifically looking for it. But it's protecting, and I did feel like instantly there was this sort of cleanse, releasing effect that took place with this, of feeling more, protective somehow. More in the zone. Could be all in my head. But that's, the nature of permission slips. If you've dove into that teaching that's shared by many channel beings, that a lot of these rituals or magical symbols work because we choose to believe that they do, and it's still quite a very powerful thing. So anyway, Thailand, I was very kind of chilled out from Thailand, but then the travel again riled me up, and I was still a little bit unsure of what I was diving into here in Cambodia, where I've been at this retreat center for 4 weeks. There's a retreat every week from Monday to Saturday, so we've done 4 groups, and it's been pretty crazy, pretty chill in a way. I mean, for the people who come here, they digital detox, and they have 2 yoga classes a day, many different workshops, creativity and games, and the Dharma, everything. And it brings in a lot of beginners. So at first it was the first group was a little bit bland, and I was a little bit nervous. Like, I just don't feel comfortable around these people after being with people who are more alternative or more deep in their practice and path, to these fresh beginners who are sometimes like Karen or Kevin or Becky. But it taught me to have a lot of compassion for these people, and to not instantly separate myself from some of these people who are just a little more conditioned, that they do want to grow and evolve. But then with time, the last week there was a lot of people who really resonated with what I did and really benefited from the sessions that I offered them. I was doing 1 channeling session each week, and then a lot of private sessions that people would book with me. So it was a lot of work, really. Not initially at first, but it came to be with managing all of the things I was doing online as well. But some of the sessions really did reach people, and then there's a lot of the content from these sessions flowing through YouTube that you're seeing, and it's going to come slowly out, bit by bit, and doing things a different way with releasing the shorter videos and then the entire clip, to just see how that works and see how it works with the engagement of the audience. I'm not sure how many people can have that opportunity to dive into a full hour video, even once a week, or who will click and watch the shorter ones first. Anyway, the experiment is ongoing, and I hope you're enjoying it. I know a lot of you are. So here in Cambodia, there's the Angkor temples, Angkor Wat, and many other temples around that are really impressive. It was the most large ruin complex that I've ever seen. It kind of just goes on and on and on and on forever. There's many different sites in one small area, and people estimate at the peak of the civilization there was some like 1 million people living here. It's quite impressive. They're actually coming from like a Hindu culture that was then turned into Buddhist, like Buddhist statues were put in later, but it's can feel quite an energy from the pyramids and the resonation of them. And we were playing with how some of them are sound chambers, and I imagine that because there's so many of these sound chambers really close to each other that they were all doing different tones at once during these different rituals. But really beautiful, really impressive, and really a peaceful place to visit. So I had some of that time, and I had some time in this town, Siem Reap, which literally means where we beat Siam, or the old name Siam, the old name for Thailand. So I found that interesting in a way. Like this town still has the name, like, yeah, we defeated Thailand here. A lot of people don't take into account all of the wars that happened in many of these cultures in the past. That you can see in the monuments, there's so many battle inscriptions and paintings from the battles, and not paintings, what am I saying? Carvings, etchings. So, yeah, really beautiful. I've really been super busy since that time in the middle of, since forever, since this whole trip, and I've switched that more to work mode since I've been in Thailand, and then I kind of had this collapse. I had a breaking point a couple days ago where too many things were frustrating me in one moment, and out of this, moment of like such frustration, I punched the computer screen a bit too hard. Oops. And that was really the sign for me that I need to stop, and I had a 4-day digital detox. Luckily the screen was easy to replace, and it ended up being a good thing because it was really fast, and the screen is better than the screen I had before. It's more clear, easier to see. So I just take it as a really positive thing, because that's what pushed me into really releasing. Also here, I think part of this release from this really powerful massage that I have been getting here, that is apparently the most traditional Khmer, the name of the indigenous Cambodian people, massage. And it's deep elbow into everywhere, even elbowing against the bones, where there's some cartilage and tissues, like connecting the muscle to the bones. And at first I was like, I don't know if this is healthy, I don't know if this is good, because some of the massage therapists I've had before said that when they're going too deep, they're causing resistance in my body, and it isn't good for me, and that we shouldn't have this resistance. But I kept going with it because the owner of the center really recommended that she has helped him with really deep things. And despite being sore for several days, even like after the second treatment I was sore for a week, my body felt better in a lot of the areas where there was this particular kind of deep tension before. So one thing she told me was that my body is not tense because of the yoga or exercise or any of this. It's tense because of the stress from work, too much thinking about it. And I think in a way before I was really commending myself and kind of echoing the feedback from others of like, wow, you're making so much, you're doing so much, and wanting to just be in the zone of like full productivity and not slowing myself down. And living up to some standard that I had internalized from somewhere else, and recognizing it's really not healthy for me, especially staring at the screen too much really isn't healthy for me, and just being in this environment where I'm also part of the community and having responsibilities here on top of what I was doing made me come to realize and recognize that. And so I don't know what it's going to mean turning back into the screen and back into work. But as I go to Bali for just 1 week, because I was on the way to Australia and I saw that the tickets are much cheaper to stop in Bali, so why not? I wanted to do it on this trip, but I was running out of time, and so that's what I'm doing next. And I'm really going to actually give it to myself as sort of a vacation. There's people I know in person there that want readings, and there's one session I've already booked. But beyond that, I'm not taking sessions, and I'll maybe do a little bit of work beyond that, but I'm just in over my head a little bit and need some time to get refocused. And that massage and this community and all of these things lead me to just look deeper into what matters for me more than anything else. And my path and my sharing and offerings with people is an amazing thing to do, but it's not the only thing I'm here for. This trip is amazing, but it's really tiring. And this is actually the longest time I've stayed in one place here in this community in Cambodia. Been in countries for longer periods, but I've moved around those countries. So it's very sad for me to leave because I made some deep bonds with people, and that really, reveals a bit of what I'm actually needing is to settle, and I stabilize for a little bit at least, just have a more stable flow. And I kind of knew that I need that and will need time like that when I started this trip, but the opportunities made themselves very clear. And life was just like, yeah, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance, so go and do it. And I'm so grateful I did, because it's brought me through so many layers of healing that wouldn't have been possible otherwise, and layers of reaching to these higher frequency energies just through the thrill and flow of life. It's filled me up, but it's also tired me out so much. And the anxiety has been pretty incredible the last weeks as I was making the decisions of the last tickets and the last arrangements, and can I do this? Can I fit this in? Can I fit everything in? And wow, I'm going to enjoy the break after this trip, but I'm also going to enjoy the rest of this trip because it's really incredible and eye-opening. Just to say again, that massage, wow, I've never experienced anything more painful, but that pain is kind of the liberation, right? I've never cried like a little baby on the massage table, and there's not just one person doing it, there's two people just elbowing so deeply, even into the stomach and abdomen. It is just another level. But sometimes it's that pushing through the pain that really brings us to the liberation. And I think pushing through the discomfort of this trip is also something that is liberating me. It's like we're feeling the depth of that tension to release it and unwind it. And I've definitely changed a lot of my habits during this, but it's a constant reappraisal. And I've just kind of learned mostly that what's most important is not to do any substance or ritual of that nature every single day, but all of them can be useful in their moment, in their time and space. And relaxing into finding that balance is just one of the most interesting challenges in life, I find. But this time here has brought me to be a lot better at it, and then opened myself to just relax into the moment and into being and into everything that needs to happen. I was coming to wrap up, and anyway, that's the gong, so that means it's breakfast time, and I'm excited for that. So check out the other videos coming up, and check out everything. My book, Living Love on Earth, is available, and so much more. Hit me up if you're interested in a session or a reading, and let me know what you think of these videos and everything. Peace, love, blessings, hugs. Thanks so much for watching, and catch you next time.